Now we are continuing with this parable, sower and seed. This will be number 3, and it will be in the seminary folder. But what I've discovered is that I did some of this before, which is in the Bible folder. So you're going to find this in 2 places. But I'm going to redo what I did before because I think it's just as well. And I noticed also when I'm using the regular camera, I can get a lot more time. In fact, the one I did before was over 7 minutes. But anyway, this about this sower and the seed parable. This is in my essays. Essays on the Border, it's called. As you can see, that was done in 2006, and it's done in such a way as you can see that I wrote it and it got printed for me. Now, what's interesting about this is that in here I have done several things. First, I've done just the way the parable is and what it means in a certain sense. But then the other thing that I've done in here is on a second part of it, I have done the sow and the seed too. Now, it shows you what is different about this sower and the seed when it's interpreted by Jesus. First, I just have what it is here. Now, this is how I begin this. In fact, I use a pencil to show myself where I left off, and I've left off before in certain places, so here's what we're going to do. Now, this is number, as I said, 3, and it will go in the seminary folder. Here we go with a little of this. God knows us before we are born. God is a gardener who plants his seeds, planting them not indiscriminately as we do, but planting seeds where they need to be growing and for a purpose only he discerns. What if we look at our lives that way? What difference might it make? What if we look to see what kind of life we have been planted? To honestly see what kinds of soil our lives have fallen upon, and therefore what kind of ground upon which we stand. The difference would make all of us, wouldn't it make a difference for all of us? Consider the parable that Jesus singled out as the parable of parables, the key to the lock in the doors to our awakening. If this parable, Jesus sees that God is a gardener indeed, we are, in fact, planted differently into life. But more, Jesus himself is also a gardener with his own seed, a seed to plant within each of us. We say that this parable is a double mystery, a parable within a parable. Not only is this a special parable, but it is also one of the few where Jesus himself provides his own interpretation. Now, we will stop right here so we can do more of this later because I can't tell how much time I'll have on this, but we'll continue to read my essay on this parable as we go forth.